Skanda 5, chapter 25. Ananta. At the root of Patala, 30,000 yojanas beyond, is the tamas aspect of Bhagavan called Ananta. Those that worship the Chaturvyuha aspect call him Sankarshana. He has 1,000 heads. The earth held up on one of these heads looks but like a mustard seed. When the time for dissolution comes, Ananta assumes his tamas form and becomes Rudra, otherwise called Sankarshana, a host of 11 with 3 eyes, 3 tufts of hair, and with tridents on their heads. At other times, Ananta withdraws his tamas and abides for the good of all lokas. His eyes roll, as it were, by intoxication. His garments are blue. He has one earring. He has a plough on his back. The Narakas, Skanda 5, chapter 26. Where are the Narakas, O Rishi? Asked Parikshit. Are they particular localities? Are they outside the Triloki or inside? Shuka replied, they are inside the Triloki on the south side below the earth, over the waters where Agnishwata, and other Pitris deeply meditate on the welfare of their respective descendants. There, Yama, the death god, metes out just punishment to the dead. There are 21 Narakas: Tamisra, Anthatamisra, Raurava, Maharaurava, Kumbhipaka, Kalasutra, Asipatravana, Sukaramukha, Andakupa, Krimibhajana, Sandansa, Taptasurmi, Vajrakantaka, Salmali, Vaitarani, Puyoda, Pranarodha, Vaishasana, Lala Bhaksha, Sarameyadana, Avichi, and Ayahpana. There are 7 other Narakas: Ksharakardama, Rakshagana Bhojana, Rakshogana Bhojana, Sulaprota, Dandashuka, Avata Nirodha, Paryavartana, and Suchi Mukha. For details of these narakas, the reader is referred to the original Sridhara's work of this book. They are more for the exoteric than for the esoteric readers. There are hundreds and thousands of such narakas in the realms of Yama. The vicious enter them by turns. The meritorious go to the Swarga. But the karma of men is not exhausted in Swarga or Naraka. For that which remains unexhausted, they enter life again by rebirth. The mention of Pitris and Yama connects the Narakas with the astral plane. Skanda 6, the story of Ajamila. Skanda 6, chapter 1 to 3. Raja Parikshit asked how men could avoid Naraka. Shuka replied, it is by Prayaschitta that men can avoid Naraka, but it is not Vedic Prayaschitta, not fasting by Chandrayana and other vratas. These Vedic performances cannot root out vicious tendencies, for the performer is seen again to indulge in vices. They do not purify the mind, they simply counteract the karmic effect of the act for which Prayaschitta is performed. The real Prayaschitta is devotion to Vishnu. Ajamila was the son of a Brahmana. He was dutiful, virtuous, modest, truthful, and regular in the performance of Vedic injunctions. One day, in obedience to his father, he went into the forest and there collected fruits, flowers, and sacrificial wood and kusa. On returning, he saw a Sudra in company with a slave girl. He tried much to subdue his passions but did not succeed. He spent the whole of his patrimony to win the love of the girl. He gave up his own wife and kept company with that slave girl. He had by her several sons, of whom the youngest was Narayana. Ajamila lost all his good qualities in low company and he forgot his daily practices. To support the woman and her children, he had recourse of all sorts of vicious and unlawful acts. Narayana was a favorite among his sons. He caressed him always. At last, his end approached. He thought even then of his youngest son who was playing at a distance. 3 fierce looking messengers of Yama appeared, with ropes in hand. Terrified at the sight, Ajamila cried out, Narayana, Narayana. Instantly, the messengers of Vishnu appeared. At the time when the servants of Yama were drawing out the jiva from the heart of Ajamila, the attendants of Vishnu stopped him with a strong voice. But who are you, said they, to interfere with the just sway of Yama? The bright attendants of Vishnu only smiled and asked, what is dharma? Does your Lord Yama hold the scepter of punishment against all who perform karma? Is there no distinction made? The astral messengers replied, the performance of Vedic injunctions is dharma, and their disregard is adharma. This Ajamila, in his earlier days, duly respected the Vedas, but in company with a slave girl, he lost his Brahmanism, disregarded the Vedas, and did things which a Brahmana should not do. He justly comes for punishment to Yama. The attendants of Vishnu expressed wonder at these words. And you are servants of him who is called the king of Dharma, and you do not know that there is something above the Vedas too. This Ajamila consciously or unconsciously took the name of Narayana, and that saved him from your clutches. It is in the nature of fire to consume fuel, and so it is in the nature of Vishnu's name to destroy all sins. If one unconsciously takes some powerful medicine, does it not have effect? It matters not whether Ajamila meant his youngest son or not, but still he took the name of Narayana, so you must retire. Wonder struck, the servants of Yama left their hold over Ajamila. They went away and complained to their master. There must be one law and one dispenser of that law. Otherwise, some will be punished and others not. Why should there be this difference? We know thee to be the sole dispenser of the law for the vicious. But just now the attendants of Vishnu came and wrested from our hands a transgressor against the Vedas. True, my sons, replied Yama. There is someone above me, and it is Vishnu. His ways are mysterious. The whole universe is in him. His attendants always save his votaries. Only 12 of us know his dharma, which is Bhagavata and no one else. These 12 are Brahma, Shiva, Sanat Kumara, Narada, Kapila, Manu, Prahlada, Janaka, Bhishma, Bali, Sukha, and myself. Ajamila heard the conversation between the messengers of Yama and Vishnu. He became sorely penitent. He overcame his attachments, left the house, and went to Haridwara. There he meditated on Vishnu with concentrated mind. The former attendants of Vishnu appeared once more and took him on a chariot to Vishnu Loka. The progeny of Daksha, Skanda 6, chapter 4 to 6. We left the line of Uttanapada with Daksha, the son of the Prachetas brothers. We were told of his work of creation in the Chakshasha Manvantara, but we have to take up the line just now to introduce the story of Vishwarupa. Daksha first carried on the work of creation by manasic reproduction, but he found this sort of reproduction was not adequate for the enlargement of creation. He went to a place near the Vindhyas and prayed hard to Vishnu. Vishnu became pleased with his prayers and advised him to marry Asikni, the daughter of Prajapati Panchajana. Take her for your wife and have sexual intercourse with her. By sexual reproduction, you shall have a large progeny, and that form of reproduction shall prevail among your sons too. By Asikni, Daksha had at first 1,000 sons called Hariyasva. He asked them to take up the work of creation. They went westwards to where the river Sindhu falls into the ocean. They began to make tapas there for their progeny. Narada appeared before them and dissuaded them from Pravritti Marga. He gave them instructions for obtaining moksha, and they followed the path of its attainment. Daksha heard that his sons were killed by Narada, and he became very sorry. He again had 1,000 sons named Subalasva. They also went out to the very same place and prayed to Vishnu for progeny. Narada again dissuaded them, and they never returned to their father. Daksha became restless in sorrow and thus cursed Narada on meeting him. Thou shalt roam all over Triloki and shall find no resting place. Daksha had then 60 daughters. Then he gave to Dharma 13 to 10 he gave to Dharma, 13 to Kashyapa, 27 to the moon, 2 each to Bhuta, Angirasa, and Krisaswa, and 4 to Tarksha. the progeny of Dharma, by Bhanu, Devarshabha, or the chief Devas, by Lamba, Vidyota, flash of lightning, by Kakud, Sankata, Kikata, the elements presiding over earth cavities, by Yami, Swarga to and Nandini, by Vishwa, the Vishwa Devas, by Sadhya, the Sadhyas, attainment of desires, by Matutvati, Marutvat and Jayanta, otherwise called Upendra, by Muhurta, the Muhurta Devas or Devas presiding over the moments, by Sankalpa, Sankalpa desire, by Vasu, Vasu, the eight Vasus, Drona, Abhimati, Drona or Abhimati, give rise to Harsha, Shoka, joy and sorrow. Prana is another Vasu, Urjaswati, Saha, Ayus, Purojava, Dhruva and Dharani, different towns, Arka and Vasana, give rise to Tarsha, the desire, Agni and Dhara, give rise to Skanda and Dravinaka, Dosha and Sarvari, give rise to Shishumara, Vastu, dwelling place, or Angirasi, give rise to Vishwakarma, the cosmic manufacturer, Chakshusha Manu, the Vishwadevas and Sadhyas, and Vibhavasu and Usha give rise to Vyushta, Rojisha, Atapa, and Atapa gave rise to Panchayama. One yama equal to one third part of the day equal to 3 hours. There are 8 yamas in day and night. Panchayama equal to 5 yamas when men do their work. The 8 Vasus are sub manifestations of Brahma or the creative Purusha. They are energies that help creation in various ways. They find no place in the Hindu worship now. They are invoked only in marriage ceremonies when their appropriateness is evident. The Vedic gods can be analyzed thus: Purusha gave rise to creative or Brahma, preservative or Vishnu, and destructive or Shiva. Brahma constitute 8 Vasus, Vishnu 12 Adityas, and Shiva's 11 Rudras. These are 31 gods. Then there are Prajapati and Indra, making the number 33. The Brihat Aranyaka says that the 33 crores of Devas are only sub-race of these primary 33. 8 Vasus, 12 Adityas, 11 Rudras, and Prajapati and Indra, the progeny of Bhuta, by Sarupa, millions of Rudras and chief Pretas, the progeny of Angirasa, by Swadha, Pitris, by Sati, the Veda known as Adharva Angirasa, the progeny of Krisasva, by Archis, Dhumaketu, by Bhishana, Vedasiras, Devala, Vayuna, and Manu, the progeny of Tarksha, by Vinata, Garuda and Aruna, by Patangi, birds, by Yamini, moths and locusts, by Kadru, the serpents. The moon married the 27 stars, but he is consumptive, that is, he is consumed, therefore he has no progeny. What is meant by the consumption of a planetary body like the moon? The progeny of Kashyapa, by Timi, aquatic animals, by Sarama, wild beasts such as tigers, by Surabhi, cloven footed animals, by Tamra, the vultures, by Muni, the apsaras, by Krodhavasa, serpents such as Dandashuka and others, by Ila, plants, by Surama, the Rakshasas, by Arista, the Gandharvas, by Kashta, beasts other than cloven hoofed, by Danu, 61 Danavas, the chief of them being Dvimurdha, Sambara, Arishtha, Hayagriva, Vibhavasu, Ayomukha, Shankusiras, Swarbhanu, Kapila, Putoma, Vrishaprava, Ekachakra, Anutapana, Dhumrakesha, Virupaksha, Viprachitti, and Durjaya. Namuchi married Suprabha, the daughter of Swarbhanu. King Yayati married Sarmishta, the daughter of Rishaparvan. Vaishwanara was another son of Danu. He had 4 daughters: Upadanavi, Hyasiris, Puloma, and Kalaka. Puloma and Kalaka had 60,000 valiant sons and named Paulama and Kalakeya. Arjuna alone killed all of them in Swarga. Biprachitti had his wife Sinhika 101 sons. The eldest of them is Rahu. The other hundreds are Ketus. They all became planets. By Aditi, the 12 Adityas Vishwaswat, Aryaman, Pushyan, Pushan, Twasti, Savitri, Bhaga, Dhatri, Vidhatri, Varuna, Mitra, Indra, and Vishnu were born. Vishwavat had by his wife Sanjana two sons, Shraddha Deva Manu and Yama, the death god, and one daughter, the river Yamuna. This Sanya became also a mayor and produced the twin Ashwini Kumaras. He had also by Chaya two sons, Saneschara and Shavarni Manu, and one daughter, Tapati. Tapati had for her husband Sanvarna. Maitrika or Matrika is the wife of Aryaman. He had by her sons called Charshani. For Charshani wide Supra. The human race had been molded after them by Brahma. Pushan is childless and broken toothed. He partakes only of powdered food. This has been related in the story of Daksha. Rachna is the wife of Twastri. She is the daughter of a Daitya. Prajapati Twastri had by her one son, Vishwarupa. Though connected on the mother's side with Asuras, Vishwarupa was made a Purohita by the Devas when Brihaspati, their former preceptor, left them. Skanda 6, chapter 18. Savitri had by his wife Prishni three daughters, Savitri, Vyahriti, Bhurbhuvar Swarmahar, and Triyaki, Rik, Yajur, and Saman. His sons were Agnihotra, Pashuyaga, Somayaga, Chaturmasya Yaga, and five Mahayagnas. Bhaga had by his wife Siddhi three sons, Mahimarth, Vibhu, and Prabhu, and one daughter, Asis. Dhatri had by his wife Kuhu one son, Sayam, by his wife Sinivau, Darsa by his wife Raka, Pratar and by his wife Anumati, Purnamasa, full moon day. Vidhatri had by his wife Kriya five Agnis called Purishya. Charshani is the wife of Varuna, Brigu incarnated as his son. It is said that the great Rishi Valmika is also Varuna's son. Mitra and Varuna once felt love for Urvashi. Agastya and Vasishta were then born of that Apsaras. Mitra had by Revati, Utsarga, Arishta, and Pippala. Indra had by Paulomi, Jayanta, Rishabha, and Midhusha. Vishnu, has son of Aditi, is known as the Vamana incarnation. He had by his wife Kirti one son, Brihat Shloka, which is called Great Fame. His sons were Sambhoga and others. By Diti, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, and the Maruts. Then continues the story of Vishwarupa.